Engage. Engage.
Energize. Energize.
Engage.
Make it so. Make it so.
All systems operate.
Make it so.
All systems operating.
So be it, fool. So be it, fool.
We are being probed. We are being probed. We are being probed. Shields failing. We are being probed. Shields failing. We are being probed.
Welcome to another episode of Trek in the Valley, the non-encyclopedic Star Trek The Next Generation recap and rewatch podcast. Every week, myself, Adam Ordall-Quinnell, and my co-host...
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Al Hirt. What up?
Mr. Al Hirt, what is up indeed? How's it going, man?
It's going good, man. I don't know. The spring's coming. Nice weather that we're finally having again. Just a little rain, but...
Spring is springing. Oh, I keep forgetting I should use my...
and it's spring break. That's nice. Not a lot of traffic.
Definitely. I bet everybody's out. Everybody flew from San Diego to Fort Lauderdale or whatever the fuck. Seems like a bad thing to do in this political climate. So something I forgot to mention last time, and it's like next week, right? But for Easter, my the Stand Up Records, the record label that I'm on, they released my Cream Eggs special Egghead on YouTube for free. So it's been, you'd have to pay for it. It came out in 2018 or 2019. And it was only available for like $5 on Vimeo. And for Easter this year, they released it for free. So now everybody can see it. So if you go to, if you Google the Stand Up Records YouTube page, Stand Up has an exclamation point after the P.
With an exclamation point.
Yeah. And so you go to the Stand Up Records YouTube page and you'll find it. I'll also put a link in the episode, I guess, and I might put a little bumper on the big before the theme on the next episode. But yeah, I want everybody to go check it out. I recorded 20 minutes of stand-up about Cadbury cream eggs and to some degree other Easter candies, and I'm really proud of it. So go check that out, and I promise I will only advertise it for the month of April. But yeah, so have you seen any good movies lately, Al?
Oh, I was gonna save one for the recommendation. Actually,
okay.
Based on like these crazy like effects and stuff. I'll get more into it at the end. I'm trying to think of.
You got anything else?
I haven't seen Project Hail Mary yet, but I keep hearing about it.
Yeah, that was my recommendation last week.
Yes, that's going to be up next on the queue, though. I like, it's like January and February is, I watched a lot of Red Letter Media, so it's like, that's like the garbage months, they say of like movies. Like that's when like all the garbage comes out. So it's like by March, April, you should be going to the movies.
I do recommend watching Project Hail Mary in a movie theater if you can. We didn't go see it in IMAX because that's $1,000 or whatever. But we went to like the Cinemark near our house. And
did you do the 3DX seats or whatever?
4DX. No, God,
4DX,
no. I'll never do that again. I have arthritis on my spine. I can't do that. I probably can't fucking ride roller coasters ever again. Like, not that I'm only into like, I like outdoor roller coasters. I can't handle dark rides because I get sick, motion sick. But yeah, I'll probably never ride a roller coaster again because of my spine. Yeah, I have my spine clinic referral finally coming up this coming Friday, where they're going to tell me if I need like an MRI or whatever other bullshit they would have to do, put me in a fucking tube. They're going to put me in a tube and blast me with fucking microwaves. See what's wrong with my spine.
You're just hearing about all this.
Put me in a
makes
tube.
Me want to stand up straight.
They said, I would do that, but it hurts. And it's like your spine, what they don't tell you, your goddamn spine's connected to all these other nerves, so it fucking hurts everywhere. You could have a little tiny problem in a little part of your spine makes your fucking ribs hurt. I could not believe it. Couldn't believe it.
You can't just like reboot your whole system. Like,
no, yeah, I should just, if I could turn myself off and turn myself on again, I'd probably do that all the time, for one thing. Yeah, so hey, good catching up. Everybody go check out my little stand-up micro special that's available on YouTube. You could also find it just by Googling Adam Quinnell Egghead, and it will come up because that's what it's called.
Awesome.
Yeah, that brings us to our first official segment of the day.
What does Al remember?
Al, this is a good one. What do you remember about Star Trek to Original Series? Season 1, Episode 19.
Yep.
Tomorrow is Yesterday.
Oh, I remember really liking this one too.
Okay, so you remember liking it, which is good.
Yes.
That's something.
I remember the title.
That's
Tomorrow
what you.
is Yesterday.
That's what you remember.
But this is the coral tube, right? Is that it? Or was that no? That was the season finale, wasn't it?
No, this is. Let me just. I'll give you a little hint.
Okay.
It involves time travel.
Gosh, time travel. I mean, the only one I remember is when they go inside that tunnel and that time travel tunnel, and they end up like killing some lady to stop a war from happening. And she like gets hit by a car.
That's one of them. Yeah, but this is the. I'll tell you what. It opens.
They go to Area 51, don't they?
Sort of. Did you just look it up?
No. I remembered.
No, but I'm saying it looks like you're looking something up. That's all. I can see you on video. No, fair. I know. But which is okay if you are. Whatever.
No. They went to Area 51.
So
there's that whole funny gimmick with it's like Kirk's like, we are aliens from outer space.
I don't know that it's not actually Area 51 because I think this is before that was a thing. It's so it opens and you're watching.
That's
so you're in the 70s, you're in the 60s. You're watching Star Trek. You think you're tuning into an episode of Star Trek. It comes up and they're in like some kind of goddamn military base in the 1960s. What the hell?
End up leaving, but it's like. Was it like this whole trope of space invaders crash on planet?
No,
and like they didn't know who they were. Or
no, what happens? That's
like
from
fish out of water.
That's
like,
from Futurama.
They look crazy.
No, that's from Futurama. So what happened was they fucking they send up a fighter jet to check out the Enterprise.
Oh, yeah.
And the Enterprise grabs the fighter jet with a tractor beam.
And crushes it.
Yeah, and so they beam the fighter jet pilot onto Chief... They beam...
Do they
what's his fucking name? No. They don't... They don't have to. They fly back and they kick him out of the Enterprise right as they get to his part in time where he needs to be. Yes. And so he doesn't have any memory of it because I guess you just merge with your past self. But yeah, Captain Christopher. The guy's name is Captain Christopher. Dude. And he's freaked out by the Enterprise. Yes. And so at first they're like, well, hey, no big deal. You got to just come with us forever now. We've Googled your family line and nothing pops out.
Yeah, they're like,
so you're fine.
You don't have any mother, any father, any family.
Well,
you want to come with us?
It would be his kids that would be the thing that they would worry about.
Wasn't the whole discrimination thing too, though, with like, I think it was Spock that brought it up, but it was like, Captain, you know, this guy, he's so primitive, like his mind's going to explode. He's going to have to study for years and years and years. And,
he'll never be
understand.
He'll never be a productive member of Federation society.
It's like,
you'll figure it out.
Yeah.
It's actually probably pretty easy.
I mean,
the Federation, as far as I can tell as far as I can tell, with the Federation, they've got things figured out. So it's pretty seamless integration. The Federation is literally set up so that aliens that have never had contact with humans can integrate into the Federation. I think they'll be okay.
That's true.
With a fighter pilot.
Remember when they go on that like Children of the Corn planet and they just send a bunch of teachers there and counselors?
Yeah, they're like, we'll send some teachers and some shrinks. They'll be taken care of. And in this one, they actually end up, at some point, they accidentally beam up somebody else who just like stands there slack-jawed the whole time. That guy's fucking
his,
great.
Mind melts.
Yeah, but then what's the big, this is the What Does Al Remember segment after all. Why do they end up needing to send Captain Christopher back instead of just keeping him on the Enterprise?
Because of his children?
They find out that somebody in his lineage does something important.
Doing the warp drive.
Yeah,
like
he has
somehow down the line.
He has something to do with early warp drive tests.
This is the when they do the whip around the sun too, right?
It's one of the times they whip around the sun.
Yeah,
I believe.
to go back in time.
And they have to go. They go back because they have to go back in time to drop him off where they got him, and then they have to go forward in time to where they're going to be to get back to the Federation time. They have to go back to before they ever went back in time.
Mm-hmm. And then we were both really critical, though, of the Enterprise crew for one, crushing the ship, freaking out one pilot, and then traumatizing the other medical officer, right? Was that what he was?
Yes.
He was like some
he was a guard.
Asshole.
The other guy was like a guard.
Yeah, but he was just some asshole, though, right?
Yeah, he was an asshole.
This is real. Like, this is whatever. And then he gets beamed up and he's like, oh.
Yeah, that's right. Because he tells that they get caught. There's a really bad fight. There's a really bad stunt double fight in that episode as well that rules. So that was a good one. And you know what?
That was a good episode.
That
What
does Al remembered? That's what you remembered, Al. Which brings us to what I call the meat of episode 158 of Trek in the Valley. We're discussing today Star Trek The Next Generation, Season 2, Episode 12. I forgot. I lost my mind for a second there. Season 2, Episode 12, The Royale. This episode was written by our friend Mel Torme's son, Tracy. It was directed by Cliff Bowl. And it aired... Oh, my God. What the fuck? It aired wait.
I got to hear the synopsis, too.
I know, right? Why the fuck did I not have the air date for this one? I prepped poorly. The Royale aired March 27th, 1989. And the synopsis is... Hold on. 3/27/89. I got to have my notes be complete. The synopsis is... Investigating the discovery of a piece of metal bearing a United States Air Force insignia, the away team finds itself trapped in the world of the Hotel Royale, a novel come to life. So, yeah, pretty much gives you the whole...
That's like 2/3.
Gives you 2/3.
3/3.
Gives you, well, yeah, it gives you a solid 3/4. 70. It's at least 75% of the story, I think. So
They're just missing one last sentence.
and I love how they give away. So it starts out with they're zipping around out there, and they're going to some unmapped star system because a Klingon cruiser reported pieces of a strange vessel in the upper atmosphere of this planet, which makes me think a couple things. How is something in the upper atmosphere of a planet? Like, doesn't it fall
the
to the...
atmosphere is pretty high up.
Or the atmosphere is so thick, or the gravity of the planet is so low? Like, wouldn't
there's layers
something fall?
Atmosphere?
Like, I don't think you can be in Earth's upper atmosphere. I think you have to be outside of the atmosphere or you get sucked into the gravity.
Or in the orbit.
Right? You got to go in orbit. So... Basically, they find this debris in an elliptical orbit around a planet, and I love how many times Geordi talks about how the planet's the environment is nasty. He's like, this is like the nastiest atmosphere I've ever seen. My gosh, it's disgusting. Look at, there's all kinds of shit.
Green.
There's all kinds of shit in here. Look at this fucking nasty ass. Geordi's like, go wash your nasty ass fucking environment. Gross. It sickens him to look at it. And then we cut to Riker pops into Picard's office to give him a report on what's going on. And Picard is, like the dork that he often is, trying to solve some ancient math problem. Now, squeaky chair. I'll cut that out, maybe. This gets us to what I find interesting about Picard and the Federation and technology and everything, right?
Yeah.
How is there possibly an ancient 800-year-old math problem that hasn't been solved by all of the supercomputers that everybody's built? Like, are you fucking kidding me? Why wouldn't you just put that theorem in? Because it's like a theorem that was found like in the borders of a dead math guy's notebook from 800 years before this. That's even old for us. It'd be like 400 years before us. And my notes just say, bet a computer could do it. Just fucking punch it into the computer.
Just data.
Just get up your like hey Data, I gotta run this by you, and Data just looks at it and goes, oh yeah 6. The answer is 6. So they're gonna beam a section of the debris from the orbiting the planet onto the Enterprise, and they lock onto something. O'Brien says they see something with markings on it that they can lock onto.
They're like, okay, cool.
They beam it onto the transporter pad. What do they find, Al?
They do. Riker's like, that's impossible, son of a bitch. And don't they he turns around towards the camera with the debris? And
they turn the debris towards the camera.
It's like a logo, the NASA logo.
Yep,
and the American flag.
And the American flag.
Dun,
so
dun, dun.
So this makes half a dozen times that a crew of an Enterprise has run into some shit.
I see the connection with
V'ger.
what the Aldous remembers now.
Yeah, right? Oh, actually, no. I didn't even thought that's
really?
serendipitous.
That's coincidence? Okay.
Yeah, that's serendipitous. But yeah,
yes.
just remember all the times that the original crew found the Voyager probe.
It's so fun. It's such a just fun theme to be
oh my God.
Whoa,
and
we
also
know this thing. It feels like you're involved in the story somehow. As a Earth.
As a person who knows I know what NASA is.
Right?
We all become
the probe.
We all become the Leonardo DiCaprio pointing at the TV meme from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I know that NASA, and I know that flag.
It's fun. It makes it exciting and a big mystery.
Well, yeah. So fuck you, because
and then
why?
Immediately senior staff.
Mysterious for so many reasons. How did it get so? Because they're far as fuck away from Earth, right? And also, I think I like that piece of spaceship or whatever that they find. It looks like it's made of wood. Yeah. It looks like it's made of wood and it's been hand stencil painted, the texture on the American flag and stuff. It really looks weird. And then in Act 1, after we get our amazing Space, the Final Frontier, analysis bears that the object is Earth. I like how they say it's terrestrial origin, and terrestrial origin always means Earth, even when you're in space. I found out, and the markings may be from the mid 21st century. And it's funny because they're looking at it, they're like, oh, there's 52 flags, there's 52 stars on the flag, which puts it between 2037 and 2090 or something. And I just think it's so funny to think about how what if we get 2 additional states, but then they take them away. Because you think that maybe they add a 53rd star. Maybe the implication would be we get a 53rd star in 2095, and that's why there's only 52. But I bet it'd be funny if no, they actually subtracted 7 states in 2090. And so they get to this. So this alien planet is just all fucking frozen methane. It's disgusting. Geordi is just so grossed out by it. Oh, No, they don't see the stars are later. They don't see all the stars on the piece of debris. The stars are on a uniform they find later. So my apologies there. I was just so excited to talk about it.
No, what Data freaks everybody out about is he goes, it's weird on the surface, like the piece itself, it's like a really old, part of a spaceship, but on the sides of it, it looks like the atoms almost like disintegrated as if it was shot by a weapon from our time.
Yeah.
And everyone's like,
what? So they find then that on the planet's surface, under all of this disgusting methane atmosphere, or under this disgusting atmosphere, there's a plate of frozen methane. And on this plate of frozen methane, Wesley's dumbass detected a building. And so they're going to head down, and Picard, I like how Picard doesn't really fight to get on this away team. He's like, get the fuck out of here.
Like, this sounds boring.
So, Al, they beam down. Who beams down first? It's Data, Worf, Riker.
Riker, yes.
No red shirt, so we know they're all going to survive probably. So there's no nothing to worry about there. What do they find when they beam down to the planet?
It's this like weird green throw up layer effect that's like floating over them. Supposedly it's a methane or whatever.
So they're in an
like
all black,
on this weird all black area.
They're just on a totally. It's like a totally black soundstage with the atmosphere of the planet being held just above their heads. Like they could reach up and be like, "Oh, I've frozen my fingers on the nitrogen in this atmosphere." But that's kind of what do they? What's the only thing they see?
It's a revolving door.
A revolving really door. It looks like
I don't think they understand. Oh, they do understand. It's like an antique revolving door.
Yeah, because
like that's not as relevant.
We don't really have revolving doors now. We have doors that open automatically when you walk up to them. And you know that when you see something that's anachronistic, like out of time, shit's about to get real, baby.
Well, also,
it's like, what if there was a cowboy? Like if there was like, oh, that's a cowboy there. Oh, shit's about to get fucking wild, dog.
Yeah, but it's like the all black soundstage too reminds me of that episode of Trek where the 3 crewmen are getting like interviewed / tortured by those big headed throbbing aliens.
Old head vein, throbby vein aliens. Yeah, definitely.
And they're like, we were just testing your endurance. Such a weird episode. They go into the revolving doors though, and then it like reveals this weird casino. Yeah, they walk into a casino, and of course they are immediately now unable to communicate with the Enterprise. Boom, that's already like a red flag to me from the get-go. And you know that once you can't communicate with something, you probably can't beam them out either. Communicating, if there's one thing I've learned about Star Trek, it's that communicating and beaming are very similar. Like they have some of the same requirements that must be met before they work. Riker says, hey, let's just walk around, throw some craps, maybe play some Keno. We'll try and get out of here by 2 a.m. Keep an eye on the clock. Yeah, right. Now, he wants to just explore and see what's going on. Now, the motherfucker at the front desk, oh my gosh, is a character actor that's in a lot of TV stuff. He was also on one of my favorite shows, Perfect Strangers. The guy behind the desk. He plays the grumpy reporter that works with Balky and Larry. Grumpy asshole trope. And so this guy at the front desk, he says, "Oh, you must be you must be my. I've been expecting 3 foreigners." Like, what the fuck? And they're like, yeah, that's us. And he also, the front desk guy, has an exchange with a bellboy. And the bellboy's like, have you heard from Rita? And the guy's like, you stay away from Rita unless you want Mickey D, which is like short for McDonald's. He's like, you stay away from Rita unless you want Mickey D to fucking blast your ass, bro. And like, what the fuck? What? Yeah, I think it was like, what show am I watching? Hungry. Yeah, because it's a lot of like the Mickey D and then the title of the episode Royale. I always think of like a cheese Royale. Royale with cheese. Like some good food. Royale with cheese from Pulp Fiction. That's what they call it. That's what they call a burger in Paris. That's what they call a Big Mac in Paris, France.
Or no, they call it. That's what they call a quarter pounder in Paris, France, because they don't have the because they have the metric system.
Oh yeah.
They don't call it a quarter pounder. They call it a Royale with cheese. Now,
but this is like one of those weird episodes where it's like it's not a planet that's like all mafiosos or a planet of like, you know, people evolving from Native Americans. It's just people in a hotel.
And interestingly enough, it's not a holodeck either. So it's not a casino planet. It's not a holodeck. What the fuck is going on?
Yeah. I really like this sense of what the fuck is going on throughout the whole episode. I mean, up until they figure it out. It's a very simple Gene Roddenberry-esque ending again, but
yeah,
I think it's really freaky though when, sorry, one last thing. When
no,
they
go
go
for it.
into
I'm
the
not trying to cut
lobby,
you off.
They're looking around at the crowd and everything. And this is like way after they talk to the front desk guy, of course, which is such a great sequence. Gosh,
I've been expecting a trio of foreign gentlemen. What the fuck?
No, Data goes like, none of these people have life signs.
That's what I was just gonna say.
Yeah, that really freaked me out.
Well, how did he just notice?
Nothing's going on. I know. Yeah, I would have thought of that immediately.
And that also. I don't think we knew that Data on his own was capable of scanning for life signs. So you're telling me Data could like be in a room with the door closed and there's living beings outside the room he could scan and sense their life signs?
I guess
or is it because he can look at them? Is it just do you think he's got to have line of sight?
Maybe it could be like a Geordi upgrade that was never addressed.
Yeah,
Geordi's like, I mean, I could do this in my visor. So
I bet Geordi's visor is able to read life signs too. So what the fuck are they? I wonder. Cut to Act 2. These beings.
Really
these beings, are they machines or mere illusions meant to deceive us? Worf is so great. There's a gambler guy who's also a character actor, not the one that I thought. Noble Willingham, funny name. Now on the ship. Oh, Data is what sort of business do you suppose he's getting down to? There's a gambler character who like really sticks out, and him and Data kind of strike up a friendship. And then back on the ship, Geordi tells Picard that it's impossible to find out if there's an intelligence behind these disturbances. Because Picard's like, is there an intelligence? And it's like, I don't know. Now, Picard is bummed because Riker isn't following protocol. Because what are you supposed to do, Al, if you're on an away team and you lose communication with the ship? What are you supposed to do?
Back to the beam up point.
You got it, man. You pass your Starfleet Academy entrance exam.
Now for the psych test.
But Troy, because she's OP, as we've discussed.
Yeah, seriously.
She can just sense Riker through all the atmosphere and all the everything because she's her Mzadi, you know? And she says Troy can sense that Riker is amused.
She has done like Jack in these past couple of episodes, no offense.
Yeah, she hasn't had a lot to do.
I don't know. She addresses the audience when she's like, the vibes are like this right now.
Well, she's like worked up. I mean, not worked up, but she's still probably recovering from the whole had a kid for days.
Oh my God, yeah.
That's probably a lot to get over.
That's true, a lot to process.
Cut back to the casino. Data is cutting the cards in a very funny pro way. And then he wins his hand with what they call a 5-card Charlie, which is when you hit and you get 5 cards, but you don't bust because they're playing blackjack. So he goes, the Texas goes, we're playing blackjack, and Data goes, oh, and Data's like eyes flash,
stutters.
also known as 21 or Butts McGee. And Data wins that hand. Geordi and Wesley are just. This is their whole life for the rest of this episode, basically, is Geordi and Wesley at these consoles trying to fucking figure out how they can get through and beam them out or whatever. And then Picard's got a great line, is penetration impossible? I don't know. Why don't you tell me? It sounds like me on prom night, dummy. So now the guys try to go out through the revolving door, and they just walk back in. It just revolves them right back into the place. They don't end up in the all black soundstage.
And at this point, it's giving like Twilight Zone.
Oh,
and
100%.
stuff and, like, freak out of
Big
like,
old-
just inexplicable, you know.
Big old TZ vibes.
I like it though because I love it because it's like you're not directly in danger. There's not some psycho in a hockey mask in the lake, you know?
Yeah,
but it's
right.
like you're just like uncomfortable enough to be like, oh, I can't just leave. Like I have no like agency. I'm stuck here, you know? It's like, and that sense of dread kind of like starts to creep in.
Particularly for officers that are this well trained, if they can't find a way out of something, it's very frustrating. But so Worf even try to phase her out, no effect. And
They
this
try to
is
look
when
in for like another door, right?
Yep, and then they have
Nothing.
Worf do various phaserings on the wall, random wall. Nothing happens.
And
No
he's like,
effect.
this is the highest setting.
I put the phaser on kill and I blasted this wall. Now, on the bridge, whoops, Troy is now feeling Riker is not amused.
Yeah.
He is starting to panic as though he feels trapped. And Riker goes to like get some information, and this is when we see the bellhop and the front desk guy again, and the bellhop and the front desk guy are talking, and then we see that the bellhop has a gun. So there's like this whole story as we find out what the deal is. The Paramount Plus synopsis kind of spoiled it, but there's this whole story kind of happening adjacent to or around the characters. And Riker gets a quick call through to Picard. They're figuring they get a little bit of a call through, and then Data has a strange reading. It's not a life sign. What's he pick up on, Al?
Oh, he picks up on like, isn't it like some energy reading upstairs?
It's human DNA above.
Oh, yes.
And then Worf
DNA.
says, perhaps those turbo lifts can take us there. And he stands in front of the door and he goes, seems to be malfunctioning. And then Data pushes the elevator button. Fucking so funny.
And then they wait and they're like, why isn't it open?
Yeah, it takes forever.
It's so used to things being automatic.
Takes forever. And so they get up to the hotel room and there's no life signs.
But they can do comms, right?
Well, yeah, not
that
yet.
what happens?
Not quite yet. So they get up to the hotel room. There's no life signs, but there looks to be someone in bed. And as they approach the bed, I go, oh, that's going to be like an ancient desiccated corpse. And that's exactly what it is. They pull the blanket back. They say it's a human male. It's a well-preserved, desiccated corpse. It's been dead for approximately 283 years. They search the room like you would in any good RPG. And they find a suit, an astronaut suit, with an American flag on it that's got 52 stars. And this is when they're able to narrow it down between 2033 and 2079 AD.
No, they talk to Riker talks to Picard before they go in the elevator, actually.
Yeah, for just a second. Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
They get one quick call through, but there's lots of interference still. But now they're able to get a clear communication signal for some reason. Nothing's really changed, so I don't know why.
Geordi and Wesley progressing, I guess, right?
There you go. They're leveling up.
Away.
They're leveling up. So they Google Colonel Ritchie, the guy.
Yeah.
And while they're Googling that, they find a novel in a drawer, and it's called The Hotel Royale. What? That's the name of this goddamn episode. What the fuck? They got a book in a drawer. What's the same name of the episode? What are the odds of that?
Yeah, and it's crazy too, though, because Picard's like, that colonel's a legend, like, no one's ever heard of him. He's like an Amelia Earhart, he just disappeared out of the blue. Are you sure that's his body?
Well,
this is his uniform.
Well, plus, it's funny because he was the commanding officer of the Charybdis, which launched in 2037. Now, do you know what Charybdis is? It's from the Odyssey. So in the Mediterranean Sea, there were these things called Scylla and Charybdis. And the Charybdis is like a giant hole in the ocean that swallows ships. So that's the reference there.
Gotcha.
I don't think you'd want to name your ship Charybdis.
No, that's
because it's bad.
Bad idea.
And their telemetry failed, and they don't know what happened to them, right? And then they find with the novel, they find a journal that's basically just a note that Ritchie left. And it basically just spells it out. It says, look, Our vessel was contaminated by some alien life form. My crew members died, and then I woke up in the Hotel Royale. Basically, the aliens that killed his crewmates made this habitat for him as an apology. And he lived there for like
had one reference.
The book, the
book,
the Hotel Royale, and the whole time he was just like, I welcome death. This book sucks, and I'm trapped in this fucking horrible book, because that's what the aliens thought. Hey, that must be. He's lucky it wasn't the Bible. He's lucky it was something with a modern.
So many other books.
He's lucky that it was something. It wasn't like Tom Sawyer, you tricked me. So LaForge has a thought. What if we phaser slice the field around the structure? And they say, but they would immediately be frozen to shit because they're doing a staff meeting where they got Riker on comms, because they're going to have an open comm signal the whole time, which is funny because it leads to, at some point, Picard just listening to the conversations of the people in the hotel. And he's like, and at one point, Troy's even like, I'll just leave you to this. This is too boring.
I know. That's how I felt too when I saw it.
Yeah, that she's the surrogate for the audience, because like, the Royale is a really bad book.
She's like, do humans talk like this? And Picard's like, not in real life.
We're getting ahead of ourselves, but yes, it's hilarious. So they're at this staff meeting, and Pulaski's in there, and they're proposing, this is like their extreme solution. They say they're going to phaser a slit in the field that will immediately freeze Riker and Data and Worf.
And then you can just
and then Pulaski would thaw them out. And Riker says, hey, look, if you're trying to inspire me to find my own solution, it worked, because we are not going to be frozen. And Picard is like, we'll be here for months if we have to.
We'll figure it out.
We're
in this together. Yeah.
So Picard searches the database for the novel, and he reads it. He goes, the first line is, it was a dark and stormy night. And oh my God, the look on Picard's face when he reads that schlock, that dreck, he's just, it's priceless, man.
Well, considering he was just dicking around with like a math equation, like at the beginning of the episode.
Yes, absolutely.
He's well versed.
Yeah, he's not. He's a dork. He's not an idiot. Now, Data says to Worf, "We need to be inconspicuous," which should be easy for old ridge-faced Worf. And Data has a discussion with this guy Texas. And Data is like, basically, he's trying to ask people questions without being too jumping out and conspicuous, like he says. So he's asking this Texas guy, "Hey, can you take me out to your car?" And he says, "I think you're trapped here just the same as I am." And then when Data says that the odds favor standing pat, and Tex is like very, because Tex's whole deal is he's there with this woman who's cheating on her husband and losing all of her husband's money, gambling basically, right? Yeah. And Data says, you should stay on that hand, and Tex is telling her to hit, because he wants her to lose all her money and be dependent on him. Right. And because we find out in the book, this guy is going to help her murder her husband at some point. They don't really get back to that so much.
There's just too much going on.
Yeah, because now the front desk guy is like, Rita called and she was crying. And then Mickey D shows up. And that's fucked up, because we know that he only shows up to kill the bellboy.
Right.
Right? And Picard this is when Picard and Troy are listening to the conversations, and Troy's just like, I gotta get the fuck out of here, dude. This sucks. And so Mickey D and the bellhop, they start to head out. They're gonna go outside and settle this outside, right? And then Mickey D just shoots the bellhop in the back. Yep. Right? And he says, "No woman's worth dying for. Killing for, not dying for." And so the bellboy dies, right? And Mickey D walks out the door, and because that's on page 244 of the novel. Now, at the end of the novel, foreign investors...
Like, what happens next?
Yeah, foreign investors buy the hotel, and because... I'm such a dumbass, because... So Mickey D does his thing, his storyline ends, and he walks out the door, where none of the other characters or the crew have been able to walk out the door. So then they start thinking, well, we've got to find a way to finish our story in here so we can get out. And then and Riker explains, and then he says, Captain, that's how we're getting out. We're buying the place.
Yes, we'll be or he goes, who are these investors that buy out the hotel? And Picard's like, well, they're not really specific.
Poorly written.
Foreign investors.
They're foreign investors.
Yeah, it's poorly written. Yeah.
And they buy it it's important. They buy the hotel for $12.5 million. And I just think I want to pause for a second here. It's so interesting.
In the past, that's pretty expensive, huh?
Yeah. And it's also interesting because, I forgot what I was going to say, but yeah. Yes, they need $12.5 million, and obviously they've got to do this gambling, right? Oh, they're going to leave the hotel as the assistant manager in charge. So the whole time, the assistant manager is kind of dreading these foreign investors because he thinks that they're going to buy the place and fire him or fucking change things, right? And so they need to gamble. And Data's gonna throw craps.
Yeah, Data just breaks the game.
Well, yeah, because he says single digits on each cube, not desirable. And Data has the lady that's gonna kill her husband with Tex blow on her dice. Data loses, and Tex says, "Hey, toss another one." Data holds the dice, and he says, "These dice are weighted improperly." And then he squeezes the dice to fix them. And then he starts rolling and winning. And the looks on Data's face when he's rolling the dice and how he'll roll it behind his back or he'll do all this fancy stuff. It's really Brent Spiner is eating in this scene, man. And it's fucking great.
With the wrists and stuff too. It's cool.
And Picard says the foreign investors in the book are described as flamboyantly generous. You got to get into character. And this is when Riker says, Data, bet it all. And he goes, bet it all, but we've got exactly the amount of, or we only need $200,000 more. He's like, let it ride.
To, mathematically, trying to get the exact amount of 12.5, and didn't. Riker's like, fuck it, dude. We're in a book. Let it ride.
and this is an interesting little bit because it kind of humanizes this Texas guy a little bit, who is a piece of shit, right? But he goes, y'all have had 18 great throws. I just don't think your luck's going to run out. I'm going to bet against you.
Yeah, and so he bets why against him. Why are you doing that? And he's like, that's just gambling, baby.
That's just what gambling's all about. And so Data throws this throw, and he wins. And then Tex looks over at him. He goes, you knew you were going to throw that 7, didn't you? And he's like, why didn't you tell me?
Data's like, I literally tried to warn you.
Yeah, Data says, look, I can only do so much. I'm Data. There's only so much I can do to stop you, a degenerate gambler that's basically a hallucination by an alien bacteria based on a terrible novel. No. And also, don't let this guy kill your husband. Now,
it's giving a little bit of Rain Man too, though, with Riker's like, okay, Data, now cash in your chips. And Data just turns. He's like, I would like to cash in now.
And that's the flamboyantly generous part. So they double their money. And so he buys the hotel, but then he also pays for everything for the people in the room.
Just gives tickets away, or chips away, excuse me.
I don't remember. They should have had a little moment where basically Riker assures the assistant manager that things are going to be okay. Because he leaves him. He should have said, hey, you're in charge, and thrown him the keys. They kind of didn't close off the manager's story.
Ooh. Yeah, but it was such a cool hype walkout. They couldn't stop.
Dude. And before the thing that I just remembered what I wanted to comment on in the break between acts 4 and 5, right? You think that everything is leading up to the bellboy, the confrontation between Mickey D and the bellboy, right? Yeah. But then the confrontation between Mickey D and the bellboy happens, and there's still 10 minutes of episode left. There's still a whole act.
It's a terrible book, right?
It's a terrible book, yeah. That should be the end. And I just love how seeing an alien, an advanced alien intelligence's interpretation of humanity, and then just imagining, so the guy, Colonel Ritchie, he must have just lived that day over and over again. And then the foreign investors show up and buy the place, and then it's like it must have been a Groundhog's Day situation.
I think the fascination from this episode,
if the food is good, you could do a lot worse. Like his coworkers died of an alien bacteria in a metal tube.
I don't know. I think like the more interesting part of this episode is like the things that don't have to directly do with it. With us just talking about like how this poor astronaut was just tortured. I don't know. It feels like I have no mouth and I must scream situation, or like 2001 Space Odyssey situation where it's like we kind of try to create this thing for you so you can be entertained, but it's like us, the human being, would know like, oh, that's wrong. And like we said, thank God he brought, I mean, a pretty simple book, you know, granted. Like he could have brought like Stephen
Moby
King
Dick
books or like
It.
The Odyssey.
He could have brought It, you know, then you got to deal with that Pennywise. Terrible.
Yeah, or he could have brought...
The Odyssey would have been he should have had the Odyssey with him because their ship was called Charybdis.
There we go.
Yeah, it's just, and think about it like this. That novel was already like outdated and shitty when he brought it with as his personal item. Like you only get so many personal items on a space flight.
Also, it's just like all that implication too. I don't know. I was so hopeful too, because it's like, I'm sure the astronaut hopefully figured out how to leave, you know, by playing with the book. But then it's
he died.
Where would you go? Right?
No, he died. Yeah, he wouldn't be able to go.
He died inside, but it's like even if he could get out, where would he go?
He would have just walked out into that black space that has the fart atmosphere above it,
and he would have just gone
Geordi
back
is
inside
so
the hotel.
disgusted by. Like at one point,
he was screwed.
Like at one point, Geordi's looking at the atmosphere for this planet, and before it cuts away from him, he just goes, "Nasty." Like he just fucking hates that atmosphere, dude. And so that brings us to the end where they do their stud walkout, like you said, after buying the hotel. They walk back out into the dark studio, 3 to beam up. And then Riker and Picard have this moment where Riker's like, I can't comprehend how Colonel Ritchie's vessel got all the way out there. And then Picard says, like that old dead guy math problem, it's a mystery we may never solve. And it's like again, with the math problem, ask Data to solve it. He will just solve it. He can solve any math problem.
That was the other point I wanted to bring up too. That's another mystery they leave on the table that would have been way more interesting. Like, how did the ship even get there?
Yeah, well, that and it, you know, it just ends up being like the normal mystery of the week.
Yeah, sort of.
It really feels like they shouldn't do something that's like the holodeck that isn't the holodeck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a little too much like the holodeck. I think those beings should have had mass or something. They should have been like all one alien, or they have one life sign or something, because it's just too much of a double beat with all the holodeck stuff that we've gotten this season.
Well,
like you just want to do a holodeck story. They clearly just wanted to do a holodeck story without doing the holodeck.
It's not even like the audience was like that engaged with the world, because it's like, what, the Texas guy got the most lines, the front desk guy was a dick, and then just like all the background characters was just, you know, Mickey D shooting the guy. Like, we didn't care, you know, like it didn't affect the crew. And then when Riker was like, oh, let's just walk out of here, and I was like, damn, what the fuck?
Characterizing the front desk guy as a jerk, it's like, yes, he was kind of high strung, but he really was telling that guy, don't fuck around with Rita. You're going to get killed by Mickey D. And he was right. So yeah, he was kind of curt about it. Like he was sort of brusque, you know, but ultimately he was trying to save this stupid bellboy from getting himself fucking, and that bellboy's so fucking dumb. They're like, let's take this outside. And the bellboy just walks in front of him with his back turned to the guy. And then the guy shoots him in the back in front of everybody in the hotel. He looks around, holds his gun up, puts it behind him, and then just walks out.
It's just like, I don't know. It was, well, what I meant by like, you know, the front desk guy being a jerk, just being a jerk to the Enterprise crew. Thus excluding them more from the situation anyways. So they're just like, oh, all right, I guess we'll just go gamble and make 2.5 million.
12.5 million. And he doesn't realize that they're the foreign investors. And then he's like, oh, you're the foreign investors. It's like, didn't you peg them as that from the fucking get-go, dude?
Yeah, you're right. It definitely feels like a holodeck episode. And then like the fact that the other half of the ship was just chilling and trying to clear communications. I don't know. I feel like it was, I guess, a Spider-Man 3 situation like RV Arad, you know, where you put too many villains or like they put too many plots on top of each other and they're like, oh shit, they got to get out of there. Well, let's just have them follow the book, which I feel like the astronaut has already thought of, you know, given that he was just sitting there and being tortured, you know?
Well, he wouldn't have had anywhere to go. Yeah.
Right, exactly. So it's just like, it's like so much sadder what he had to go through. And then it comes off as like a haha Saturday morning cartoon with the Enterprise. And they're like, wasn't that crazy?
They had a much different experience in the alien Hotel Royale than Commander Colonel Christopher Plummer or whatever the fuck his name was.
It pisses me off, though, with the mystery of, like, Riker being like, how did that ship get there? And Picard's like, oh, let's just get out of here.
I don't know for sure, but it'd be funny if they were setting that up for them to run into that alien bacteria later. Because it would have happened close to Earth, right? After their telemetry failed and they got warped to this planet by, like, bacteria. It's fucking crazy. I find all of that stuff quite interesting.
Okay.
There's definitely a Star Trek the extended universe novel potential here to discuss this alien mold. So what did you think about the episode?
Let's see. Out of
you want to just rate it?
Turbo lifts? Yeah, let's just rate
okay.
it. Yeah. We can talk about it.
1 to 5 turbo, 1 to 5 elevators.
I guess is like a 2.
Whoa! You did not like it.
I really didn't.
I was gonna give it a 3 and thought that I was shooting low. The only reason I liked it as much as I did is because they had, whenever they get a bunch of good character actors playing like the side characters and stuff, I really like seeing people from other shit and you know, that kind of thing.
I guess like the better part is Data interacting with all the side characters too. That was funny. I did
Data
enjoy
and
that.
Text.
I'll give
That's
it
why that gets it a 3 from me.
0.5.
You don't have to change your rating, but
I'm feeling
you're feeling magnanimous.
Based on okay, so the best parts were probably being the interaction, the fish out of water stuff, and then them just solving it. I don't know. I just felt like I was like really bored throughout this episode, and the fact that like they just figured everything out from the get-go in 10 minutes where like Worf's like, well, we can't zap out of here. Well, we can't just walk out of here.
I think part of it is also there's no stakes because
that's what it is. There's no stakes
because that guy was there for a long time, right?
Again, his fate is so much worse.
And Picard even says in that staff meeting, he says, we'll be here for months if we have to, you know? Right. So it's no big deal.
It's like, it's okay. You're safe. You're not in immediate danger.
That also makes me consider, like, how many Starfleet vessels are out there right now, like, sitting around a planet or something because one of their crewmen is trapped inside some anomaly and they're like, we've been here for 6 months trying to get our second engineer out of this fucking force bubble and we cannot figure it out.
Starfleet's like, how's that report coming, you know, with that crewmate that's stuck there?
We're trying something else today. We're waiting for some parts. We've got some parts on order from Starfleet, from the local star base. So 2.5 from you, 3 elevators from me. I loved, honestly, just Brent Spiner's faces throwing those dice could. And one thing that I don't understand, do you think the dice were weighted to be bad initially and he fixed them, or did he cheat and fix the dice so that he would be able to pick what they land?
No, I don't know if Data like has that malicious, you know, like trickster in him.
He just made him even,
because he made him even, and he's so perfect that he can just
pick how it throws. He can just throw it exactly.
Right?
Like he'd be great at disc golf.
He was doing the same wrist motion, because that's what I was thinking in the back of my mind. Like, how is he getting it right?
Yeah,
that's a good question.
Just repetition. He's got it pointed. He's always got the dice situated the exact same way in his hand. Throws with the exact same. Right? Yeah, throws with the exact same strength. Yeah,
it's like using a TAS for a speed run or something, a tool assisted speed run.
There you go. Tool assisted speed run. So that's our discussion of the Royale season 2, episode 12 of Star Trek: The Next Generation. That brings us to our final segment of the episode, and also the final segment of our little doubleheader recording session. Here we go.
Captain, Adam and Al are recommending things. I repeat, Adam and Al are recommending things.
What do you got to recommend for us, Al? And don't say Abbott Elementary. You did that last week.
I know. I got two things.
Shoot.
This time. I was saving them. Because one kind of relates to this episode, the Royale, and the other one is another horror film that's already out. But the first one is this creator. His name's Kane Pixel, I believe. He made the Backrooms. I cannot believe that A24 has already signed that all up. And you should watch it, though. The short film on YouTube. It's great.
Oh, I've
it's
watched
kind of
all
like
the
the Royale situation, you know, where it's like that dread of like, oh shit, I'm stuck. But you said you already saw it.
I've watched like 4 years ago when all that stuff came out, because I thought when I saw the trailer with the Chitwell Ejiofor and shit, like I thought that the Backrooms, the YouTube series, was from like 20 years ago, but it was from 4 years ago when the dude was like 15, and now he's like he's a 20-year-old guy who directed this A24. He couldn't drink legally at the premiere. Like, he won't be able to drink legally at the premiere. But yeah, so I'm very excited about that. The trailer looks fucking great. I was a big fan of the YouTube series.
Cool.
I'm excited about it.
It kicked off all this like found footage, like horror style films in YouTube, on the YouTube space. There's like a lot of like special effects of found film for like Godzilla stuff too that I got really into, and it's like that's a really fun little like subcategory. But I'd also recommend though with horror, it's in Spanish, but it's called Where Evil Lurks. Like the second
I watched
half
that.
Dude, the first half, I turned to my fiance and I was like, this is quite literally like the best rollout of a zombie film I've ever seen. Like, it is so like graceful in the way that it shows things without telling you right away. It doesn't treat its audience dumb, and it's like you are already immediately caught up. Like, you're immediately caught up with everything, you know, like as it goes.
Yeah, and Pedro and Jimmy. When
Evil
Lurks.
Evil
Lurks. Yeah. The characters who play the leads, Pedro and Jimmy, are so fucking good, dude. Like, it is such a great movie.
It's intense. I
feel like they didn't stick. Yep. I was gonna say, I feel like they didn't stick the ending.
But dude, the beginning's nuts, right?
It's worth watching. Yeah. Plus, I love Spanish. Yeah. I love Spanish horror. You know. Did you ever watch 30 monedas or 90 coins or whatever? There's an HBO series that was a Spanish language series about these coins from the olden times that are connected to demons and shit, and it's like all exorcism stuff and fighting demons. And
that's cool.
I didn't finish it, but it was pretty good. And it's basically this small town in Mexico becomes, or Spain, I can't remember where exactly, becomes like the kickoff for the demon apocalypse.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
30 coins.
Backrooms and When Evil Lurks. You guys should check both of those things out if you want a creepy afternoon.
Yes. And I am going to recommend JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Steel Ball Run.
Yeah, how's that going? How many episodes?
Have you watched it?
No, I'm waiting. I want to wait till the whole thing comes out. But
well, I'll explain. You're going to be bummed out to hear what I have to tell you then. Netflix, I from as best as I could tell, Netflix is doing a very terrible 30 Coins is the name. 30 Coins is the name of that series.
Horror film. Yep.
The horror series. It's a TV show. But Netflix is doing a terrible rollout with this. They're going to release their 45-minute episodes, so it's like double-length episodes.
Wow.
And they're just releasing them sporadically for the next 6 years or for the next 4 years. So like they don't tell you when the next part's going to come out.
Is it one of their biggest, well, not one of the biggest properties, but it's a hot IP.
It is.
JoJo.
Yeah. And it looks expensive. I thought I've been rewatching Stone Ocean to lead up to this, and Stone Ocean is
it's nuts.
very well produced. Like it's so fucking clean and colorful and sounds amazing. Yeah,
I've been playing my fighter more, the JoJo fighter, and I've been learning about all the characters and stuff in the next iteration. Like in Steel Ball, like the JoJo character that you are, they fight with their horses. Like one of their stands is like a horse galloping around, and then they jump off the horse and then they fight with their hands. It's a beautiful game. Man.
I gotta check that out. So yeah, I'm recommending JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, the Steel Ball run. I might have to check out the manga just because I can't wait.
Right.
And Al, you recommended When Evil Lurks, and
the Backrooms.
The Backrooms. Check out that Backrooms trailer. I'm very excited to watch it in May.
I gotta send you something too. I'll text it to you later. But it's like some Doom map that somebody made based off of the Backrooms too. I think I've seen that. I've watched a YouTube video of it. It's crazy.
So come on back next week when we are going to be discussing episode 13 of season 2, which is Time Squared. Like Times Square, right? Times Squared. And do everything in the bumper, like, subscribe, help us out. Thank you so much
for listening, guys.
And thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.
158. Trek in the Valley is brought to you by Adam Ordall-Quinnell and Al Hirt. The theme was produced by Al. The episodes are engineered by Adam. You can email the podcast at trekinthevalley@gmail.com, or you can search for us on Bluesky and Facebook as Trek in the Valley and follow us over there. Please be sure to like, subscribe, rate, review, whatever you do on your podcast apps. It really helps us out. And never forget, always explore strange new fucking worlds.